this race and knocking on the door of the top 10 in this one. A big sideways moment, a tank slapper for Ashley White, who is, and the key thing again for these drivers is, you know, you find the limit, and if you just go over it, you know then where the limit is, you get the feel for that, and that's what it's all about for Ashley White. He's still running in 4th place. Cole Hazelton trying to come back into the mix here, and dicing with James Cannon. Matt Bird, remember, he's a lap down after his visit to the pits, but enjoying his race here and deploying some good racecraft. He's got the faster car, so he's perfectly entitled to try and get back onto the lead lap if he can. That would be a big ask, but he uses the outside, uses the inside. James Cannon, good vision from him there, looking in his mirrors, and Matt has to go on the grass. Side by side, Cole Hazelton looks on the inside run coming down into Redgate, and he's going to take 5th position. Hazelton back up into 5th, just being kicked up by the car in front, which is Ashley White. So Ashley goes through, and these two still side by side. This is fine racing in any formula, and once again it's James Cannon on the inside line of the 80 car. Goes Alistair Nelson and Red going out of shot. Then it is Ashley White, a superb 4th on his debut weekend. Then James Cannon in 5th place in the 80 car. Career best for James Cannon in 5th position. Then Cole Hazelton bags 6th place, so just 1 place shy of his finish in race 1 as the cars come down into pit lane. Confirmation of the result: Ben McLaughlin from William Heslop and Alistair Nelson. Ashley White 4th from James Cannon and Cole Hazelton. Okay, so here's the rest of the racing battle. Christian Short from Wayne Minogue and Paul Blakesley, who looks around the outside line here as Wayne Minogue looks down the inside of Christian Short, challenging for 2nd place. The Pink Pig is under pressure, and Paul Blakesley is very much in the mix here as well, but Wayne Minogue's challenging on the inside line, not content with 3rd in race number 1, goes 2nd, and Paul Blakesley going for the burn up around the outside. Blakesley's got he's still held the grip on the outside line as Minogue goes wide and drops back from 2nd to 4th. Back up into 3rd goes Christian Short, but what a manoeuvre by Paul Blakesley in the Cambridge car. Goes through into 2nd, Wayne Minogue recovers, passes Christian Short to go back into 2nd place. Meanwhile, James Woods has a spin. Watch the concrete. A glance, I thought that was going to be worse, it was bad enough. It is so tricky out there. We've got so many new drivers in the rest of racing category, as now off goes Sam Beckett, the Wilmslow car.
Paul, a brand newcomer to racing this year, I gather. Tell us about your experiences so far in Resta racing.
My job was to spray the car, so yeah, I'm not a mechanic or anything like that. So I was given the project to spray it all up, and no track experience whatsoever. I've not done any experience days or track days, anything like that. I have a passion for motorsport, and my first race was at the beginning of the month on May the 4th on GP at Brands. Pretty cool. It was I got 8th, and the 2nd race in Brands Hatch 2nd. So I was absolutely gobsmacked.
Cars on the grid, ready for our first of 2 races for the Porsche Club Championship Classic Resta Racing Championship, and it's the leader in the standings, Ben McLaughlin, who's on pole position from the returning Josh Morris. William Heslop 3rd from Matt Bird. Then it is Ollie Coles, Paul Blakesley on row 3. Mark McCulloch next up in the 22 car, the Porsche Centre Hatfield machine from Stephen Shaw and Julian Morris. Then it's Simon Ruffle-Ward, Sam Beckett, Mark Duncan, Scott Adams, Ashley White and Cole Hazelton completing the grid. Great start in green, and a problem there. Ollie Coles was moving, I think, looking to the outside line, got tagged by another car and has hit the barrier. That's in a prone position. I was starting to pick out the great start by Paul Blakesley in green. Now out on the safety car, so we're ready to go racing here at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit. Round 5 of the Classic Resto Racing Championship here at Brands Hatch. It's Ben McLaughlin, the leader, and Ben will be well versed at safety car restarts, and he's already gone. I think it's going to be a decent restart, not a fantastic one, and that's because the man chasing him, Josh Morris, was very much alert to that. William Heslop about to try and pop in a challenge for second place, goes high and wide into Paddock Hill Bend. We go on board with Josh, look to the left, let's see whether Will Heslop, no, he's not there. The answer is actually going to try up the inside line, up Halewoods Hill into Druids. Third of the 35 car, the Premier Panel Skills machine, having a good look at Paul Blakesley. We already know Paul's a front runner in his first season of racing. And a spin, that's the Glasgow car. Sadly, another of the drivers we spoke to goes off the circuit, Mark Duncan. That was a fairly rapid spin, and I think has had a little bit of a hit onto the barrier as well. Could be our second retirement of the race. Racing Championship runners headed, as you heard, by William Heslop from Ben McLaughlin, Simon Rufford-Ward and Paul Blakesley, very much Paul on home tarmac this weekend in the Porsche Centre Cambridge machine. So it is a massive grid, and in these conditions it's going to be a big ask for the drivers to get home in one piece and keep it on the track. In car with Steve Freeman, and you can see there's a little bit of a hold up there on the start. That was, I think, Del Brett has possibly impinged on the start there of Jake McAleer. Yes, it was Del. Well, Del qualified ahead of Jake McAleer, of course our previous race winner Jake McAleer, and it's difficult conditions, and well, nobody to blame there. Big field, nerves are going to be rattling a little bit. They go into the hairpin for the first time. And Peter Morris still in second place, and you can see it's a very, very wet track indeed. Now, who's leading in the Resto Racing class? There in 32 is William Heslop. That's the Porsche Centre Wolverhampton machine. And you can see it's Ben McLaughlin, in fact, in yellow in the distance, has got through into lead position, qualified second. As we go in car with Steve Freeman. This is what the drivers have to deal with. Steve Freeman here putting pressure on William Heslop, who runs a little bit wide, gets a bit of opposite mark. Steve Freeman in the Class 2 box to going through on the inside line. There is Mark Duncan in the blue and yellow Glasgow car, now being chased by the recovering Carl Hazelton. Carl, who qualified in 12th position in Class 3, being the Resto Racing, the classic livery Boxsters. Heslop going well, actually dashing with Ross Morris there at number 3. He's the championship leader, Ross Morris. The big one from Ross is Del Brett. As through goes Ben McLaughlin. Ben McLaughlin 16th overall, but another points with the Ben McLaughlin Porsche Centre Bournemouth car. There is Jake McAleer, who finishing in 7th place. Watching the green car in the background, which will be Michael Price. In the mix as well is Paul Blakesley there. Number 80 car finishes second to Ben McLaughlin in Class 3. There is the safety car. You could probably call it a pace car in these conditions, actually, getting them up to speed ready for the start. But as I mentioned, a number of drivers coming into pit lane and will be looking to change tyres. There's the work going on. And let's go through the grid. William Heslop, who did call it well, starts on pole. Matt Bird alongside, then Ben McLaughlin and Josh Morris. Alistair Nelson, row 3 with Ashley White. Carl Hazelton and Ollie Coles completing row 4. They're followed by Mark McCulloch and Julian Morris. Scott Adams on row 6 with Simon Rufford-Ward. James Cannon and Stephen Shaw completing the grid. So coming through Lodge Corner and ready for the start, Will Heslop has left them and makes a very good start, single file start as you can see. So it's Heslop leading from Matt Bird. Ben McLaughlin in yellow. His third sideways moment there for Matt Bird, who collects it up very well indeed. Matt racing in the Premier Panels Skills car. Now remember, this championship for Porsche centres up and down the country, plus the various other approved workshop specialists such as Premier Panel Skills, Elite Motors, Shore Aid as well in the mix, and I think there'll be a whole load more for the 2020 season, and hopefully some more new drivers. Remember, this championship based around bringing new drivers as well as new teams via the various centres into racing. Now that in green there, that's the Cambridge, Porsche Centre Cambridge car. Having a look, that's James Cannon starting 13th. That car third in the championship. Remember, some of the cars shared over the course of the season. William Heslop in the 32 car has shared with Christian Short. They're racing under the Porsche Centre Wolverhampton banner. William Heslop winning last time out at Snetterton, and he is leading this race at the moment. There is Ben McLaughlin, who's got through into second, the yellow and red car. Ben McLaughlin up into second place, so Matt Bird down to third, coming under pressure from Josh Morris in the Porsche Centre Bolton car. Norman shares with Mike Thompson, who's done 3 of the 5 rounds this year. Next through is Carl Hazelton in the 24. Then James Cannon, who we've seen sharing with Paul Blakesley, who's done very well as well. Hence the car being in third place in the championship. Julian Morris in the gold livery. Simon Ruffle Ward in the Warsteiner livery. And then Scott Adams, the Welshman. And he didn't want it to rain, as you heard in the interviews, but this is all character building for these drivers as they get the penultimate race of the championship season underway. There's Carl Hazelton. So the drivers, as much as anything else, will be learning this circuit. They're now having to learn the circuit and the conditions. Alison Nelson having a look, and here is a move down the inside line. James Cannon nips through on the inside of Ashley White. Cambridge car passing Porsche Centre Nottingham machine. As off and into the tyres. The tyres doing their job. Clear of 300 points in the championship. Little problem there going into the chicane for James Cannon. That car, incidentally, as we heard in previous rounds, prepared by Paul Blakesley, the other driver of the car. A little issue there for Ashley White, who shares the car with Wayne Minogue. Wayne getting 2 podia at Brands Hatch Grand Prix. 5th position in round 7 at Snetterton. So that car running well in the championship. As I say, it's the Porsche Centre Bournemouth leading from Wolverhampton, then Cambridge, then Bolton. Mike Thompson and Josh Morris 4th. Wayne Minogue and Ashley White in 5th place, ahead of the Wilmslow car in the championship. Alistair Nelson and Sam Beckett sharing that car. But nice little battle unfolding here. The Cambridge machine looking good, looking to consolidate that 3rd position in the table. So could well all go down to the last race, round 10 of this year's championship. This is round 9.
Now, James, a very good first race, especially considering the conditions. Started virtually at the back and came 5th.
Yeah, it was a really heavy rain. Sitting here waiting to go out for the first race, it just started coming down in absolute buckets, and we basically exploited it, having qualified in second last place. Managed to finish in 5th. Did take quite a few cars just at the first corner. There was a huge amount of spray, so I just aimed for where I couldn't see any brake lights and started braking once I'd gone past them. Took about 4 cars in the first corner and then just slowly picked off a few more, but I was glad when it came to an end because we were really running out of grip. Nottingham and myself were having quite a few little scraps and we both fell off a couple of times. So yeah, really pleased to finish where we did. Hopefully tying the championship up for us in 3rd place, hopefully.
Lights out And a great start by William Heslop. It's a completely different race. Ashley White making some progress, and they're side by side down into Old Hall, but Ben McLaughlin takes it. A little bit of dust being put down to soak up some fluids from an earlier race, and that's what we worry about here. That's why we had the safety car start in race number 1. Championship-wise, it's obviously championship with Porsche Centre Bournemouth, and I think fairly well sorted between Wolverhampton and the third place car in the championship, which is Porsche Centre Cambridge. And you can see the varying levels of drivers all have other drivers to play with. That time's a lot closer between the field here, and again that comes back to the varying levels of experience. Most of these guys have had quite a few laps in the dry, not so much racing in the wet. I can't think of a worse place to come and race a Porsche in the wet first time than All Park. Very difficult, so I commend the drivers for great driving today. We only saw the one retirement in race number 1. Might see some of the cars coming out having a go. Talking of having a go here, looking down the inside line is Ollie Coles, challenging the Cambridge car. Was a little bit too far back there in the Coca-Cola livery machine. You can see some fine dices going on here as we approach the half distance of this final round, round 10 of the 2019 season for the Classic Resto Racing Championship. Welcome back to Alton Park, round 10, the final race of the 2019 Classic Resto Racing Championship. Through shot goes Carl Hazelton in the Porsche Centre Chester machine, followed by the Cambridge car of James Cannon. Line comes Carl Hazelton. Then it is James Cannon in number 80. James had a good race, started 11th, so we've got another lap to do, those guys. Here is James Cannon, who is going to wrap up third position in the championship.